What's that sound? Why, I do believe that's the sound of a bonus objective! Yes, after going over the requested videos, I'm going to do one more video based on what my patrons vote on. And it doesn't matter how much you put in, everyone who contributes can vote on this. The theme for this round was the Buddies film series, since I wanted to go over all of them in a similar manner to the Arc 5 videos, but not this year since, well, given how long it took me to do Arc 5, I think I should wait a while before doing all these. Although, if there was one film you wanted me to do in the meantime, you could vote for that one. While I only had 3 votes, Space Buddies ended up getting picked with 2 votes over Snow Buddies. So let's talk about that, shall we? This was the 3rd movie in the Air Buddies series, released in February 2009, once again directed by Robert Vince, who actually did all of the Buddies films, plus one of the Air Bud films, and a few others that I'll definitely need to look into, especially one that I want to look at in a couple of months. Still, no matter which film I ended up with, these films are all going to follow a different formula from the Air Bud series, in that there's no sports to them whatsoever, but just whatever kind of bizarre situation you can fit puppies into, because Disney will market their product to anyone that will buy it, even if they turn out crappy. But oh dear, oh my, what sort of dumb plot can we expect from something called Space Buddies? Let's find out. We open in badly CGI space, where we get credit font that capitalizes an actor's last name but lowercases everything else, as well as exposition from a dog, voiced by Jason Arliss, who I think is trying to put on a Russian accent.
Dreams are like stars. You can't touch them, but if you follow them, they will lead you to your destiny. I used to dream of being the first dogmonaut to walk on the moon. And now I dream of going home to my boy Sasha.
Oh boy, if you remember what I said about dog years in the first movie, well, I'm sure we're all going to be surprised at how old he turned out while his owner's still alive. We Google Earth on down to Fernfield, where we see Buddha with someone I don't know. Wait, wasn't his owner blonde in the first movie? The kid is named Sam, and he's played by Nolan Gold of Modern Family fame. And it seems they both have an interest in space.
I wish you could come too. But I've already asked school like 12 times. No pets. Look, a shooting star, Buddha. Make a wish. I wish to one day touch the moon.
Sam, honey, come to bed.
Good night, Buddha. Launch! I wish that all your dreams come true.
Well, I can certainly say that not only do they have to replace the dog actor each movie, but it seems they'll replace a voice actor for some of them too. In the first movie, Buddha was voiced by Dominic Kay, but here he's voiced by Field Kate, who would voice him again in the following movie, Santa Buddies. But that's not all. Liliana Mumi now voices Rosebud, with Henry Hodges playing Mudbud. B-Dog and Butterball keep Skylar Kazando and Josh Flitter, respectively. I also find it funny that even though these kids are supposed to be the same ones at the end of the first movie, they also seem to undergo different child actors. That's one flaw with doing a series like this and having to keep everyone roughly the same age. You have to keep replacing everyone. So even though he can't go to the Space Center with him, Buddha decides to take his siblings with him and sneak into the place anyway. Of course, not everyone is as free as the rest of them.
Am I ever glad to see you, dude?
And I see choppy editing is still a thing. They sneak onto the bus through the back. That's a lot of hanging backpacks there. And wait, where would they be hiding where no one stacking those bags would notice? Especially when kids were still getting on board before. This is going to happen throughout the movie, isn't it? Things that can't be explained by normal logic must be a children's movie.
One lucky Fernfield class who is going to see a real live spaceship launch.
Well, you're going to be driving for a long time, because the nearest one to Washington State is the Mojave Air and Spaceport in California. Okay, the place they're going to is a fictional center, meaning it's okay to just create one for story purposes. Also, it's the return of Butterball eating everything because he's fat! Ha ha ha! We cut to Vision Enterprises where we meet this man, Pi, played by Bill Fagerbakke, and his pet, Gravity, voiced by Amy Sedaris, who are showing off their latest spacecraft to some associates, including our obvious villain of the movie, Dr. Finkel.
It is my pleasure, Mr. Wolfson. Until you fail, and I take over, of course.
Gravity, behave.
I don't know what's more unsettling, that you accessorize with that brainless rodent, or that you converse with it, too. Carl, why is a cappuccino not touching my lips? Don't speak.
Introduce you to some members of our team.
What dastardly thing is he planning? Refueling the ship? Wait, is he refueling the spacecraft, or is he redirecting it elsewhere? What's he doing? The pilot is named Astro Spaulding, because that's not a name you name your kid, unless he's a robot. And she's played by Ali Hillis? What was she in?
Flying the spacecraft using a Vectra system, a vision-enabled controlled technology response array. The systems will be controlled with the blink of an eye. It just scans your retina.
Falsey took Sarah from us, and you want to help it? Whose side are you on?
Oh, and she was also Pressa in Tales of Zillia. Neat. So apparently this new technology will allow them to use Visionware to pilot the craft to and from the moon, but mostly as a backup for emergencies. This will likely be a plot point later. Anyway, Finkel is sent off to be the tour guide for the kids just now arriving. And wow, total disrespect to the teacher. They just run her over! Also at this point, I think Finkel is a mix between Mayor Brown from the Yogi Bear movie and Hank Humberflube from the Cat in the Hat movie. Sam steps onto some device that scans for the right suit to wear, and since he doesn't respond to Finkel's orders to take it off immediately, he gets to keep it for now. Naturally, the puppies decide they want to wear them too. And I gotta admit, at least they didn't go for the lazy approach of having them suddenly in suits without an explanation, as here they do have to step in and have someone zip them up.
Mine's a little too tight. Someone give me a paw.
Don't pull his paw!
No! Bad movie! You do not fart! This is gonna be a running gag, isn't it? Well, time to check out the spacecraft, and naturally, no one sees the puppies coming. Not even when they do get on. Like, how does no one notice on the corner of their eyes?
Okay, guys, we've seen the ship. We better go.
Check out these retro shades. Dude, you shouldn't be touching those. I could fly this thing no problem. Piece of cake.
Yeah, there's cake. Ooh, donut. But I think I'll start with the chili cheese dog.
Ugh, the Land Before Time sequels had better characterization than this. At this point, everyone's just acting to their stereotypes, and I highly doubt we'll be getting some semblance of a moral this time, especially when they risk jeopardizing the launch by being here.
1. And ignition. Gravity, we have liftoff.
It feels like my stomach is in my throat.
Oh, this is like a ride on Space Mountain!
You mean like at Universal Studios? Cha-ching.
Hey, I know it's at the Magic Kingdom, but my point still stands. How would they know to shell out an amusement park attraction when they wouldn't be able to get on one? Well, now they're out of orbit, time for green-screened zero gravity. That totally just has them in whatever hanging position they had them in, so they can't move, even though this would be a good opportunity to see them attempt movement. Pi and crew find out that one of their tanks is nearly empty, and I guess they didn't think to check it before launch.
Tank 3 was never completely filled. The registries were blank. It doesn't make any sense.
Okay, maybe that might have been a problem, but that would still warrant a short delay. I've seen Hidden Figures. They have to be exact on every procedure before they could even take off. And even one tiny error can be enough to throw things off. You are not good at your jobs. Finkel wants them to abort the mission, but they do have 10 hours to figure out a solution. In the meantime, the owners return home to find their puppies gone, because I guess none of the parents noticed they were missing either.
Butterball, I have your favorite dinner. Butterball?
Aw, cheer up, Bartleby. At least you still have that tiger in the cellar. Maybe. We never did check up on it, did we? Ah well, and I guess the puppies were just sitting on their ass the whole time to be of any use? But hey, at least Buddha takes full responsibility. Nothing will come of this. Back at Mission Control, they figure out that they can have the shuttle refueled at an old Russian space station that...
The space station disintegrated into the Earth's atmosphere like years ago.
Well, yeah, but you said to check everything, so I checked everything, including the conspiracy websites, which said the station still in space.
The reason that no one has been able to find the space station is because it's not in its original position. Somehow it has gotten out beyond geostationary orbit.
And one of the Russian cosmonauts, he survived, and he's still living on board alone.
Okay, what happened up there then that caused the Russians to just abandon it? And did no one on board have any way to fix whatever problem they have?
Hold on. Yuri, this is Slats from Vision Enterprises. Do you read me?
American Blue Jeans, Cocktail, how are you?
Well, gee, that was quick. In fact, it's almost as if getting a comlink to the station was never an issue. And it makes me wonder why no one bothered getting this loon off the damn station. Yuri is played by Carl Bader, and trying to pass off a Russian accent, that's even worse than the dogs.
Oh, we are going to have visitors. Don't worry, old pal. I promise not to tell anyone about us, so we are free to live peacefully in space forever and ever and ever.
I have so many questions. Like, why are you up here alone with a dog? How long were you up here with that dog? Why are you holding a conductor one? Why are you a loony? And why do you not want to go home? Also, if you really are alone and are the only other survivor, where are all the dead bodies stored? Good God, this just got dark. So after Astro docks the ship, Yuri goes to get the hose. Did he just fart, or is it just me? The puppies leave B-Dog behind because he's afraid of aliens, but he does come out so he can act like a coward. He runs into the dog we keep seeing.
No, I am no alien. Though I suppose if I stay in space any longer, I may qualify. The name's Sputnik.
Oh, so you're the one responsible for canceling Woody's roundup.
Where we grow all our food in space. The added benefit is the plants filter out CO2 gas and produce oxygen. And we also use them to create fuel for the station.
Okay, I don't know about the fuel part, but yeah, it is a scientific fact that plants can be grown in space for various purposes. Though, even though the plants could explain how Yuri survived for this long, I don't know if they have enough to work for Sputnik, since while dogs are omnivores, the stuff they grow would have to be compatible enough to be used for a complete and balanced diet. At the very least, they did do some research on space travel and what it is astronauts would be doing up here. But, how long have you been up here for there to still be that much sealed food?
Not really sure. It's all one long night in space. I was only supposed to be on the station for a 6-month mission, but I'm sure it's been years and years.
Oh, so then you'd definitely be dead just like Buddy should be. Yuri finds them all and thinks they're gifts from the Americans. Thus, he decides to shut the kitchen door on them? Wait, if there's no way to open it from the inside, how would you get out if you got shut in? Oh, who the hell are you anyway?
You want to get the dancing started? That's a good idea, Sputnik. Let's get jiggle with it.
And suddenly I see why no one bothered to check on this guy. Who would want him back? Naturally, a gas leak is occurring at the same time as the puppies try the old use your head trick on the door. It doesn't work, yet somehow causes a dent. What? He should be dead from that then, since he's a puppy! But really, how is this movie only 84 minutes long? Nothing has happened! Nothing! Absolutely nothing!
These are gonna be the longest 11 minutes of my life.
You're telling me! Sputnik gets him to fall asleep so he can go and save the puppies. Sputnik wants to go home to his owner since Yuri is nuts, as he plans to go down with the ship? What? Unfortunately, the reason the gas is leaking is because the tank is full, and once Yuri sees the dogs loose, he tries to put the ship into lockdown. And of course, Butterball has to be a glutton by taking food with him and almost risks being left behind. Dude, it's just food. You got more on the shuttle. And then this happens.
Cosmopod escape vessel. He made it!
And then his escape pod flew away from Earth, where he would eventually suffocate from a lack of air and die. Oh, and I guess the owners decided to band together off-screen to look for their puppies? Yep, totally not important. Also, I guess they really did let Sam keep the suit? Why? Isn't that an expensive suit? The dogs realize they're heading to the moon, and during the night, Sputnik talks about how he misses his owner, Sasha, and for being away for years and years, and yeah, he certainly hasn't aged much. Once they arrive at the moon, B-Dog ends up taking control since for some reason, someone thought it would be a great idea to leave pilot shades on the spacecraft as well. Sputnik manages to figure out how the system works and saves them all. Giving control back to Astro, they succeed in landing on the moon that looks like something out of Mass Effect. And now for the most awkward spacewalk to be done by dogs.
Sputnik, you go first. One small step for dog, one giant leap for dog time.
It's only now that Mission Control discovers them and thought they were aliens at first. Ugh, the CG is getting worse. And what's with the slow-mo? Trying to simulate low gravity? Anyway, they need to figure out about getting the puppies home since there's no way it'll look good for PR. So while they figure that out, Gravity decides to speak to them.
Galactic canines! Do you read me? Does anyone else hear that? Dogs? I think I hear an alien. Dude, there's no aliens.
It must be Mission Control. They know we're here.
I'm Gravity, Mission Commander's assistant.
Who are you, doglings?
And how in the universe did you get on board the Vision 1?
I'm Dogmonaut Sputnik, Russian Space Agency, and these are the buddies. I got on at the Russian Space Station. These pups, they saved my life.
And we got on at Vision headquarters. A field trip gone awry.
Dogs, listen, I can help you get back to Earth. The Vision 1 will be departing for Earth in 15
minutes and 32 seconds. So head back to the spaceship before
your oxygen is depleted and get ready for lunar liftoff.
Well, that shouldn't be too hard. Mission Control wants to keep this quiet. Not that there'd be any way to reveal this fact. Oh, wait, Finkel. He's been rather inactive most of the movie. He makes a few snarky comments about Pi, but apart from messing with the fuel, he hasn't really done anything else. Not like breaking the story now would matter. I mean, he does, just after the puppies are safely on board. But what else is he going to do? Naturally, the kids find out, as does Sasha. So now the world knows we have dogs in space! The owners force their way in, and they end up meeting Pi, while Finkel decides to change the destination of the Krat into that of a meteor shower. Sam notices and doesn't quite get it at first. But we know that this will be Finkel's downfall.
What's that? It's just a meteor.
Just a meteor?
Collision alert.
Oh, don't worry. All Kay has to do is leave a tip, and the meteor will be destroyed. Thanks to the autopilot system, they barely manage to avoid danger. But then one more hits the communication antenna, which causes them to lose control of the ship, meaning someone has to go out and fix it. You'd think that Buddha would be the one to do it since it was his fault they were all up here to begin with, but no, Butterball volunteers.
To control your movement, you have 4 small jets. Move your right hind leg, you go back. Move your left hind leg, you go forward. Wiggle your right front paw, you go left. Your left front paw, you go right. Look, you'll be tethered to the ship so you don't float off into outer space. Got it?
Which one is my left paw again?
We're doomed.
What? It's not my fault I'm dyslexic.
Just remember, your right back leg you lift to take a whizzo.
Anything else I need to hear, you disgusting movie?
I can't help myself.
Don't do it, dog.
Must scratch.
Butterball, no!
Oh, Mama.
Why aren't they dead yet? Oh, but Buddha does get to do something. Unfortunately, it's for exactly what they said they'd do.
I don't know what you guys are always complaining about. It's really not that bad.
Okay, now the methane gas you just produced should give you enough fuel to fire up your jetpack.
I want to apologize to Sanji right now. I am sorry, Sanji, for criticizing your nosebleed triggering a plot point. It is no longer the dumbest thing I've seen. A puppy farting in space just to get close enough to fix a shuttle is now the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Wanda, you better join the crew before I end up despising dog characters forever, all because of these freaks! He manages to fix the antenna by just lightly pushing it into place. How is this not destroyed by the meteor? Anyway, while Mission Control gets everything back on track, they discover that their course was adjusted from the main terminal. And Sam points out it was Finkel. What, he just now figured out that what he was doing was sabotage? Good thing they have security footage.
Darn. Carl? Security. Take Dr. Finkel away.
Bye-bye, Dr. Stinkle.
The only contribution this kid had for the movie. What a joy. Anything else to add this movie out further?
Excuse me? Mr. Slats, sir?
Yeah?
Unidentified object approaching
Well,
Vision
whatever it is, it's on a collision course with our spaceship. Take evasive action, staff.
Oh, give me a freaking break! How is he still alive, let alone not back on Earth yet? So they actually have to save him by leveling his pod on top of their ship. Whatever, he lands safely and is rescued later. But first, we have to have a montage of people worried about the puppies since they're in a blackout zone. Why? We know they're going to be fine. This isn't Deep Impact or anything. No one is going to die after this, and you know it. See? Shortly after, they're all fine. Can we end the movie yet?
Greet your new friends.
Welcome home, buddies. Sputnik, that was some fancy seat-of-the-pants aviation you demonstrated.
Whoa, you're a ferret. Yo, dog, you mean to tell me we had a rodent as our flight director?
Oh, who would have thought one of them was Species? So they reunite with their owners, they get a parade to celebrate their success, medals, yada yada yada, and Sam finally gets to touch a moon rock that will no doubtingly be stolen by Roscoe Bigger. Oh, and Sputnik reunites with his owner. The fricking end. Holy crap, that was dumb. I think we're now at a point where they don't bother to include a real moral to their story, and instead just have puppies run around while other things happen to them. Literally, this all started because they had to sneak aboard, and because no one with sense did anything to see or prevent things from happening, of course they were able to go along for the ride. Whatever antagonists we had weren't really effective, as one guy did crummy hack jobs that got him caught in the end, and one was a loony whose reasons for staying in space are unknown, yet he's happy to return home in the end. The kids were pretty much useless. only having one tiny moment near the end, while the puppies did bare minimal effort when it came time to actually do something besides act like stereotypes. Most of the time, they are either standing around, sitting on their butts, or just fiddle with objects. Otherwise, it's almost like they did nothing. This movie is a giant bucket of nothing! Bore your friends with poor writing and no morals. Destroy your family relations with bad effects and terrible CGI. Annoy everyone around you with fart gags, pratfalls, and fat jokes.
It's absolutely healthy.
Ugh, and I have to go through all of them next year. I can't imagine them getting worse than this. Well, that's it for the Patreon stuff for now. Sorry if this came a little late. But hey, at least you got to see another bad dog movie. Perhaps maybe we can move on to something good? Didn't think so. I'm the Media Hunter. Media's my prey and reviewing them my way.
We're having fun most every night. When that old moon gets big and bright, it's a supernatural delight. Everybody was dancing.
Moscow, Moscow, I don't know the frickin' words, I don't know the frickin' words, ah ha ha ha. Hey, Moscow, Moscow, I don't know the frickin' words, I don't know the frickin' words, ah ha ha ha. Hey!